On July 1st, 2026, the entire world stopped. Two people, 1,454 feet above New York City. A banner, a kiss, a proposal. Breaking news on every channel. Paparazzi running, anchors laughing. The perfect story, almost too perfect. This is what they did not tell you. Angela Nikolau, Ivan Beerkus, Russian nationals, professional rooftopers, social media influencers with millions of followers. Stars of a 2024 Netflix documentary called Skywalkers, a love story. These are not two ordinary people who woke up one morning and decided to climb a building for love. They have climbed the world's second tallest building in Kuala Lumpur. They have scaled skyscrapers across Europe and Asia. They sometimes pose as construction workers to sneak into buildings. This is their profession. This is their content. In 2024, Netflix released a documentary about them, Skywalkers, a love story. The film followed Angela and Ivan as they climbed the world's second tallest building, Merdeka 118 in Kuala Lumpur, 2,227 feet high. Netflix described them as daredevil influencers, who risk their romance, freedom, and lives to climb mega skyscrapers. The documentary was a global hit. Millions watched. Their Instagram following exploded, and then the documentary stopped getting attention. Views slowed down. The world moved on. Until July 1st, 2026, when they needed the world to look at them again. And they chose the most famous building on Earth to make that happen. The question is not how they climbed that building. The question is, who opened the door? The Empire State Building opened in 1931. For decades, it was the tallest building in the world. After September 11, 2001, everything changed. New York City spent billions upgrading security at every iconic landmark. The Empire State Building installed full CCTV surveillance on every floor, bag screening at every entrance, 24-hour armed security personnel, visitor ID checks. The building receives millions of visitors every year. Every single one screened. Every single bag checked. In 2010, a man was arrested before he could even enter the building with a weapon. Security stopped him at the door. In 2019, a suspicious package was found. Building evacuated in minutes. Security worked perfectly, for decades, until July 1st, 2026, when suddenly, it didn't. The Empire State Building is not a shopping mall. It is one of the most iconic and secured landmarks on planet Earth. Post 9/11, America spent billions, upgrading security at landmarks exactly like this one. Bag checks at every entrance, CCTV cameras on every floor, 24-hour armed security, no masks allowed, no large packages allowed, strict visitor screening. Yet two people walked in wearing black masks, carrying equipment, carrying a large banner, carrying burglar tools, and nobody stopped them. They hid inside the building overnight, the entire night, in one of the most surveilled buildings in New York City, and not a single camera caught them. Not a single guard found them. They cut locks on the 104th floor. They climbed through a maintenance hatch. They free climbed 1,454 feet, with no ropes, no harness, no safety equipment. Think about how long that takes. Even a professional climber needs significant time to scale that height. Where were the guards during all that time? Where were the cameras? Where was the security that America spent billions building after 9/11? The first 911 call came at noon. The broadcast antenna had to be powered down for 30 minutes, before officers could even approach them. 30 minutes. To respond to two people standing on top of the most famous building in America. That is not a security failure. That is permission. America said never again. After September 11, 2001, nearly 3,000 people died because of a security failure at an iconic New York landmark. The entire world changed. Trillions spent. Thousands of soldiers died. Entire security apparatus rebuilt from the ground up. All to protect landmarks exactly like the Empire State Building. And on July 1st, 2026, two foreign nationals breached that security completely, climbed to the very top, hung a banner, proposed, and walked out smiling. And America laughed. The media called it romantic. The Empire State Building posted jokes on their own social media. Tell that to the families of the 3,000 people who died because of the last time security failed at a New York landmark. They are not laughing. Now here is where it gets interesting. July 1st, 2026. The FIFA World Cup is happening on American soil, the biggest sporting event on planet Earth. Billions of fans watching globally. Security at World Cup stadiums is so tight that an Iranian football player was held for 8 hours, in an interrogation room, by ICE agents inside the stadium. Armed officers, intelligence agencies, full security apparatus for one football player. But two people in black masks, with burglar tools and equipment, climbed 1,454 feet of the most famous building in America, and nobody came for 30 minutes. America had soldiers inside a football stadium, interrogating athletes, but not inside their most iconic building. Football players dedicate their entire lives for this moment, years of sacrifice. One World Cup, one chance, and in one staged moment, two influencers stole every headline, every camera, every conversation, from the greatest sporting event on earth to two people kissing on a building. You tell me which one deserved the attention. Watch how every major news channel covered this story. Smiling anchors, romantic music, love story framing, breaking news banners, helicopter footage already in position. Wait, helicopter footage already in position. News drones and helicopters were filming before police even arrived, before the first 911 call was even made. How did the media know before the authorities? Who called them? Who gave them the coordinates? Nobody asked. Nobody questioned. Instead, CNN called it audacious. NBC called it romantic. The Empire State Building's own social media account posted, and I want you to hear this carefully, that they offer practical ways for the most memorable marriage proposals. The building that was just breached was making jokes about it within hours. When the victim of a security breach starts laughing, that is not a victim, that is a participant. Angela and Ivan already have a Netflix documentary, Skywalkers, A Love Story, 2024. Their Instagram account has millions of followers. While they were in police custody, their Instagram posted automatically, a pre-scheduled post, published while they were being arrested. The caption read, "We knew this in advance. They planned every single detail. The building, the timing, the banner, the proposal, the cameras, the arrest. Even the arrest was content. They were charged with burglary, reckless endangerment, criminal mischief, criminal trespass, possession of burglar tools, criminal tampering, disorderly conduct, felony charges. Released the same day, no bail required. Back on the streets of New York by evening, posting on Instagram, smiling for cameras. Two Russian nationals, felony charges, released immediately, no consequences. You decide what that means." But here's the detail that should disturb every thinking person. At 5 in the morning, 7 hours before the world found out, a security camera caught them passing through a hatch on the 102nd floor. 7 hours. The camera saw them, and nobody responded. Nobody came. Nobody checked. To go higher than the 102nd floor requires a key card, a restricted access key card, for authorized personnel only. Yet they passed through, without a key card, without authorization, without anyone stopping them. And the broadcast antenna they climbed emits high-frequency radio signals, powerful enough to damage the human body, so dangerous that officers had to wait 30 full minutes for the antenna to power down, before they could even approach two people standing on top of it. The antenna was more protected than the building itself. But the most revealing moment of this entire story did not happen on the building. It happened outside a courthouse. Angela Nikolau's own father spoke to the media, and he said something the world largely ignored. He said, this was a performance. He confirmed, they were already married. The proposal you watched, the moment the entire world swooned over, the knee on the ground, the ring, the kiss, all of it was scripted. Even the love was content. Their lawyer stood outside the court smiling and said, what a way to propose. Something you can only dream of. You have to give him credit. A lawyer, celebrating a felony, on the steps of a courthouse, for the cameras. Together they have nearly 2 million Instagram followers. Followers who watched this story, shared this story, believed this story, and now face the possibility of deportation. 2 Russian nationals, felony charges, living in New Jersey, back in court August 24th. But until then, free, posting, growing, profiting. And then came the ending. The part that should make every thinking person uncomfortable. They walked out of the police station. Paparazzi everywhere. Cameras flashing. Crowds gathered. And they kissed. Right in front of every camera. Slowly. Deliberately. Like the final scene of a movie. Because that is exactly what it was. A common person watching this thinks, these are heroes. These are rebels. These are lovers. But what did they actually do? They broke into a secured building. They cut locks. They endangered their own lives. They forced the shutdown of a broadcast antenna that serves millions of people. They wasted police resources. They insulted the memory of 9/11. They stole headlines from World Cup athletes. And they walked free, kissing for the cameras, like it was all scripted, because it was. Ask yourself one question. In post-9/11 America, the most secured nation on earth, how do two foreign nationals hide overnight in the most iconic building in New York City, climb 1,454 feet, hang a banner, propose on camera, get arrested, and walk free the same day? All while the media laughs. All while the world watches. All while real news disappears. This was not love. This was not art. This was not rebellion. This was a distraction. Perfectly executed. Perfectly timed. Perfectly covered. The question is not how they climbed that building. The question is, who opened the door? Prometheus. We stole the fire. Now we document the ash.